Rall witnessed firsthand the seismic shifts in German politics and society that accompanied the rise of the Nazi Party, which created opportunities for young, ambitious men like Rall. Despite his professional reputation as a fighter ace with over 270 victories, his marriage to a woman of Jewish descent placed him in jeopardy. Rall's devotion to his wife, as well as his audacity in questioning Hitler about the war's end, grew from his discontent with a dictator who demanded complete allegiance, putting his core values and humanity to the test. Günter Rall was born in March 1918 in Gaggenau, Germany, the second child of merchant Rudolf Rall and his wife Minna. He grew up during the Weimar Republic's turbulent political period that followed the First World War's defeat. But what would ultimately determine his fate was the rise of the Nazi Party in 1933. Choosing to serve in the armed forces, Rall enlisted in the German army in 1936 and trained to be an infantryman. He joined the Luftwaffe after realizing the potential of aerial combat and obtained his fighter pilot wings by 1938. After the German blitzkrieg into Poland signaled the start of World War II in September 1939, Rall was assigned to the prestigious JG-52, the 52nd Fighter Wing, which was positioned near the French border.
The war who came was a shock for the whole nation. There wasn't hallelujah, you know. Just 20 years after we lost the war, the next war, this was a shock throughout the nation.
He patrolled the skies during the Phoney War and later engaged in aerial combat during the Battle of France, where on May 12, 1940, he achieved his first aerial victory. JG-52 was later moved to the French Channel coast, where it fought in the Battle of Britain, suffering substantial losses for little gain. Demonstrating leadership potential, the young Rall, just 22, was elevated to the position of squadron leader.
We had losses in the Battle of Britain. My group commander was killed, the adjutant was shot down, my squadron commander was shot down, and at the age of 22 I became squadron commander.
The Balkans campaign of 1941, however, yielded no personal victories for him.
I said, what's going on to an officer? We go to Russia. Are they crazy? The war is not finished in the West. No, we started two-front war in the Russia.
With the start of Operation Barbarossa in June 1941, the Eastern Front served as Rall's real proving ground. Despite having been in combat for nearly 2 years, Rall had only one aerial victory to his credit, having faced well-trained pilots in aircraft of comparable performance to his. This would completely change on the Eastern Front, where not only did Rall's Messerschmitt 109F outclass the Russian I-16 Rata, but their pilots had inferior training and experience than their German counterparts. Having been sent to support Army Group South from its base on the Black Sea coast, JG-52 was thrust into intense aerial combat due to the vast number of Soviet planes and the frequency of Luftwaffe sorties. German aces like Rall began to quickly rack up aerial victories. Fighting was not without risk, though. In November 1941, he was wounded in combat and informed by the doctors that his flying career was over.
He shot my engine off, out. And I was about 300 meters high. Went down, buried in the snow above this ditch. And went down, and then the wall came, and the big crash, and I was out.
Stretch cast, which I wore for 6 months.
The doctor came to my bed. Forget flying, that's out. You broke your back 3 times. And then I stopped and said, doctor, I will fly again.
So it took me out of action in about 9 months.
At this point, he had secured 36 aerial victories and was awarded the prestigious German Cross in Gold. Returning to the skies in August 1942 with renewed vigor, Rall's prowess was undeniable. He was awarded the Knight's Cross with oak leaves in October of that year after achieving a century of aerial victories. Rall was one of the selected Luftwaffe pilots to meet Hitler and receive the prestigious award. Rall made the audacious decision to question Hitler about when he thought the war would end during the meeting. Hitler was taken aback by the question, which was a very direct and potentially insubordinate query.
We are sitting around the fireplace, and he asked, where are you coming from, where you come from? Then he developed his plans and ideas to us. At that time, Hitler had a very clear plan. It lasted always 1 hour. And in the middle, I interrupted him. And I said, Mein Führer, how long is this war in Russia going to last? Steiner said, are you crazy? And I asked these questions. Hitler stopped. Rall, I don't know. The great leader doesn't know.
When his total reached 200 a year later, in August 1943, he was awarded the Knight's Cross of the Iron Cross with oak leaves and swords, the second highest military decoration in Nazi Germany. Rall's wife, Hertha, was under investigation by the Nazi regime for a while because of her friendship with some Jewish doctors whom she assisted in fleeing persecution by helping them travel to Britain, a move that the Nazi authorities found unacceptable. Hertha was briefly detained and questioned by the Gestapo due to this connection.
Justice officer from the Luftwaffe came and he interrogated me. He said, are you crazy? I risk my head every 3 times a day and you come with such a bullshit? They investigated on, till I got the swords. And after that, we have to go to Göring in his house, castle. And I was in the line, the fourth, said, Herr Reichsmarschall. And then he said, my dear Rall. And then he said, forget it, it's all over. I canceled that, the process. In other words, they couldn't risk a man with swords. And this was the reason why they quit. And from there on was silence.
As the 8th U.S. Army Air Force intensified its bombing campaign over the Reich, Rall was transferred in April 1944 to take command of the 2nd Gruppe of Jagdgeschwader 11, leaving JG 52 and the Eastern Front for the defense of the Reich. However, he was sidelined once more due to combat injuries. Towards the end of the war, he was assigned as an instructor, even testing captured Allied aircraft. His final wartime assignment saw him commanding Jagdgeschwader 300 near Salzburg, Austria, where he surrendered in May 1945. Rall's wartime ledger is impressive. 275 confirmed aerial victories from 621 combat missions. Nonetheless, these statistics came at a personal cost, being shot down 5 times and wounded 3 times. Rall would eventually join the West German Air Force after the war ended, rising through the ranks to Major General by 1971 as NATO Inspector of Air Force. His legacy is a testament to the valor, skill, and resilience of fighter pilots during the world's most devastating conflict.
If you liked this video, there are many similar high-quality videos on my channel.